Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chu, and in today's video we are going to be going over the 6-step income engine for producers to make money from your beats without artists. So the entire idea behind this video today is based on a thread post that I made a couple of days ago, where I was kind of writing a note to my past self. And the reason I was doing that was because I had a thought cross my mind where it was like, okay, if I could hop in the DeLorean, whip back to the past version of Chu who had just started selling beats and was really struggling with the whole process of going back and forth with artists, doing the whole cold outreach thing and really struggling to get results with that, what would I tell him so that he wouldn't be so unmotivated or so demoralized by the process? Because I can tell you there were some days and some nights where it had me on the verge of quitting. So that's how I came up with this kind of 6-step workflow. It is stuff that I actually do in my business, but this is really the first time I've thought of a systemized way to look at it, basically. And so it went like this: how to make money from beats without artists. Step 1, compile the beats and release them on DSPs. Step 2, register the tapes for publishing and royalties. Step 3, pitch the tapes for sync opportunities. Step 4, make a beat store so you can sell the tape as individual beats or as a premium bundle of beats. Step 5, export the project bones and files from the individual beats on the project, so the stems, the MIDI, the loop, individual drum samples and things of that nature, and compile those into drum kits themed around the beat tape. And then step 6, use content to scale all of the other previous steps, right? So that's what I would say to my past self, and I thought it was pretty mundane stuff, honestly, because it was really just a random thought, which is what most of my thread posts are. It's kind of like a public journal, or it's like my blog, dopecontentonly.net, but a more short and succinct version of that. Kind of brevity is the whole point on that platform. But it ended up getting 32,000 views. So I noticed it really resonated with a lot of producers. So I figured it would make for really good, valuable content on this channel today. So I'm really excited to get into all of this, and I'm especially excited to get into it because this is, like I said, literally just what I do in my business. I'm blessed by God to have had the opportunity to build a listenership of people who genuinely just like listening to my beats. On DSP platforms, I do not, do collabs with artists, and I'm not rapping, right? I do produce for a lot of artists, which is another opportunity I've genuinely been blessed by God with. But a lot of that is just me, being the actual producer, producing on the back end and not appearing as an artist. So I'm just getting my 50% in royalty points. It's all publishing and all that stuff just on the back end. I'm not really appearing as the face of the music. And so on my DSPs, it's really just instrumentals. All of it is just instrumentals. And it's really cool because all the people who are listening are tapping in because they genuinely like the sound of my instrumentals. They genuinely like listening to it. And the cool part is not only can I release those beats on DSPs, but I can also sell them in my store. I can sell them as premium bundles to my email list or my network of artists that I'm in contact with and that I've built a rapport with. I can compile them into those beat tapes that I release on the DSPs. I can then break those down, sell those files as kits from the beats. And the really dope part about this entire process is that it doesn't rely on artists at all. You can actually do the entire thing with no artist. So today, that's the process I'm going to be breaking down for you. And it really starts, it's a 2-phase mindset shift. And the first phase of the mindset shift is this, and it's to stop chasing artists and start building assets. As soon as you understand that on an internal level, a deep internal level, like a real shift begins to start happening, because the biggest leak for music producers in terms of income is absolutely the dependency. All the time, I was about to take a sip of coffee, but this is actually really important for me to say and get the point out and get it across very clearly. All the time, all the energy, all the attention, and all the intention that is devoted to depending on artists and labels and, that entire paradigm that is dependency for producers, all of that energy, all of those resources, all of that life energy would be better spent on the development of you as a producer, would be better spent on the development of your product discography as a producer. And so I really do believe the old way, which is a super dated method at this point, is just reaching out to artists and hoping for the best, hoping for a placement, hoping for a sale and things of that nature. And Relying on artists to show up, buy beats, or give you a placement is a super shaky business model. So I think the new way is to look at your beats as a product library, to treat them as a product library, to take a more CEO perspective towards things. And this system, this way of thinking allows you to create multiple revenue streams from single batches of work. And the framework is really about building assets that work for you 24/7, which is what this process is going to allow you to do. And step one of everything is to productize your work. So this is the second phase of the mindset shift, is to actually take a productized approach to making your beats. And what that means is that there's a lot lower factor of randomness in your creativity, right? You're not just making beats for the sake of it and for shits and giggles. You're really thinking in terms of themes. You're thinking projects instead of one-off singles, especially if you are already releasing on DSPs. So you're not just making random beats, you're creating a product. And so you want to start thinking about how you can group 5 to 10 beats with a similar vibe, give them a really dope name, give them dope artwork, and that's how you create your first product. A cohesive tape is going to be far more marketable, especially in terms of everything we're going to be talking about beyond this slide. It's going to be far more marketable than just like 10 disjointed beats, or if say you're submitting for an opportunity on Sync, just sending 10 random links is not going to be as effective as sending something that's themed and that is cohesive. And that's the whole point. And actually, what you're seeing on the screen is a really good example of that. I do this a lot. I do it very regularly, but Elysium is a really good example that we'll be talking about today. It was a tape I put together in early 2024 because I was really interested in pitching for opportunities related to like sports commercials and sports TV shows and stuff like that. ESPN, March Madness, Hard Knocks, and things of that nature, right? So step two, and this is the part that a lot of people skip, and it's crazy because that can end up costing you the most. It's like the better you get at this shit, actually, the more money you start to lose by not taking care of your publishing. So it's pretty straightforward. It's just about getting up and doing it. Step one, register with a PRO, ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, insert other PRO here. I think at this point they all have free accounts. There was a point in time where only BMI had a free account, but now whichever one you want to go with, they have a free account for you. You're going to want to upgrade at some point, but you can at least get your foot in the door with at least one PRO, and you only need one because there's like, they have crossover mechanisms and stuff like that. If you're working with someone who has a different PRO to you, you don't have to worry, a different PRO than you. So you don't have to worry about that. Literally just sign up for one. Don't bullshit. There's no excuse anymore because they have free accounts. You being broke is not an excuse, or you telling yourself you're broke. It's not an excuse anymore. So stop being lazy. You need to do that so that you can secure your composition royalties from all the projects that you're going to be releasing. Next step is to set up an account with MLC so you can collect the mechanical royalties from DSPs. So your distributor, which is like DistroKid or United Masters, or if you have like a publishing deal, unless your publishing deal also works to collect your mechanical royalties from DSPs, your publisher is only going to be collecting a different type of royalty. I actually don't know the difference between the two, but I do know that MLC collects a different royalty than what your distributor can pay you unless you've given them permission to collect your mechanical royalties from DSPs. And I know that because when I finally did sign up for MLC, I got a decent amount of bread from just my own releases as back pay, and then I got a lot more from like my placements that I didn't know I was owed back pay on because of the mechanical royalties from DSPs and stuff like that. So pretty important thing to sign up for. And then you're going to want to register for Sound Exchange in order to claim your royalties and publishing for non-interactive digital radio plays. So stuff like Satellite, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and things of that nature. Again, it is the most skipped step, but you don't want to skip it, especially when you start to get good with this. It's going to be a really important aspect of this. And it's just a pain in the ass to like try to back catalog everything. So just being on top of it right now is the best approach. It's the best like business minded way to approach everything, and it's free money, bro, that you're leaving on the table if you don't take it seriously. And they're the only organizations that can get you that money. So if you don't go through them, you're not going to get it. Even if you do have a publishing deal, like I have a publishing deal where I release a couple of projects per year through them, and they still have to go through ASCAP and MLC and BMI and shit like that in order to collect the money. So if you're going to get paid royalties and publishing from your music, it's going to have to come through these people. So you might as well just do it because there's no other way that you're going to get that money. Then from there, we get into step 3. And step 3 is to pitch your cohesive project for sync opportunities to libraries, agents, and supervisors. You want to look at your beat tape as a B2B product, right? Business to business pitch kit. Instead of being a beat maker that's trying to hustle beats to random artists that really don't give a fuck about the craft, now you are shopping a professional product to professionals. Instead of begging artists for placements, you are pitching to businesses that literally need your music, right? So the way you want to approach this is to just research music licensing agencies, libraries, and film and TV music supervisors, and then pitch your project, right? While keeping in mind that, again, your full themed project is going to be a far more professional pitch than sending 20 random links of your best work. And at least in my experience, while still using Elysium as an example for that, I was able to pitch that to libraries I was already in and to agents that I was already connected to. And I was able to land the track Humble Beginnings, which is track 4, which you can see just at the bottom of the screenshot. I was able to land that in commercials for March Madness last year and this year. And it was also used in like commercials and stuff like that. So it was really dope to get the opportunity to do that. But then I was able to make a press kit for Elysium and pitch that to new labels. I mean, not new labels, but new agents and new libraries. And I was able to get into new libraries as well. And I really do believe that professional approach and the cohesion of the project is what gave me the opportunity to do all of that. So it's really important to put stuff together professionally if you're going to be pitching, because they really do like that. Step 4 is to launch your store, or if you already have a store, you're going to want to actually put your entire tape in the store. So you're going to want to upload the full thing to TrackTrain or whatever beat store that you choose to use, and then offer the full tape at like a premium price, but for a discount. So for example, for the Elysium project that we're talking about, I actually had the individual leases for the beats marked up because I really did view them as like a special vault of beats. And I usually do that with like my beat tapes. There's like a bunch of other beats in my beat store, but when I'm putting together a specific beat tape, there's like a premium markup on them, especially since I'm going to be pitching them. They just have a higher like inherent value. So each lease was $150, whereas for the track out stems, right? Whereas usually it's just $100 in my store. But then I gave people the option to purchase the entire tape for only $500. So they ended up saving, if they paid individually, that would have been $1,500. So they literally got a $1,000 discount on buying the beats together than if they were going to buy them separately. And people still bought the beats separately. People were like, man, the whole project is hard, but I really only want this one beat, or I really only want these 2 beats. I don't need like all 10. I don't need to pay like the extra $350 or $200 to get all of them. I really just want these 2. And then a lot of people bought the entire pack because they really liked the vibe of everything. And that's the power of cohesion. That's the power of looking at it as a premium product instead of just trying to trap random individual leases. Keep in mind, when you're doing this, your tape is a premium product that you're offering to serious entrepreneurs and serious business people. You can sell the whole thing as a bundle, but you can also sell individual beats from the bundle as well. And that's how you use the beats to create a high ticket item in your store, so that you're not only stuck selling individual leases. Step 5 is to then repurpose the assets from your beats. So like we were saying earlier, you're going to want to export stems and MIDI loops, especially if you made stuff from scratch, which I do recommend for the most part to make stuff from scratch when you're doing this. If you're not going to, I strongly recommend just working with one other producer per project. So you only have to do like one producer agreement and all that, and one songwriter agreement, because it can get wonky, it can get messy, it can get frustrating. But if you did make everything from scratch, then you can also put the loops in a pack, and you can put that together to make a themed sound kit for the beat tape that you're releasing. And this is where you begin to multiply shit, bro. And that's what I was able to do with Elysium. Not only was I selling the beats in individual leases and in bundles, but I was also able to sell the sound kit developed from it to earn money as well, and to provide value to my audience, because I made a really dope, valuable demo version as well. And now, instead of just having a beat tape that's only earning money on DSPs, it's now earning money in my beat store as a premium product that can be broken down to sell individual parts of itself, whether it's in beat leases or in sound kits. And that's like where you can double your efforts, triple your take, quadruple it, or even 10x it, bro. But you got to take that mindset, right? It's not just a beat, bro. It's an entire product offering. It's like a mini ecosystem within your discography, and it's just one beat tape, and you can do this over and over again, bro. It's really powerful stuff. So step 6 is the content library, and this is where you really scale everything, because one piece of content, like a really dope long form YouTube video of you demonstrating the beat making process, or telling a story about the beat, or using the beat to educate or inspire or entertain, is going to serve all of the goals that we've been talking about today. It's going to market the actual beat. It's going to market the kit that is based on the tape, and then it's going to market the tape as well. It's going to allow you to gain attention from sync agents and sync libraries. That's one thing I didn't mention. A lot of sync agents that I'm connected with, I think pretty much all of them actually found me through content. I've never actually reached out to an agent. I apply to libraries, but the agents find me through my content, which is incredible. You definitely don't want to sleep on content, because building that brand expands your network and gives it a gravity that pulls people towards you instead of you having to go out and seek opportunities. And that's really powerful. So the content is going to allow you to scale by promoting the actual DSP releases, attracting those agents and libraries, selling the beats and the tapes, whether it's individually or as the full bundle, and it's going to market that sound kit. So here's just another sale that I got on the Elysium sound kit. And then, yeah, there was one on the other slide that I didn't even talk about, but then I was also selling the beats individually from the pack as well. So like I was saying, some people just wanted one beat from that hoe, and they would just pay the 150 markup on the premium license for it. And it's a max out license where they don't have to renew it for 10 years and they get unlimited streams and shit like that. Either way, I'm making money from this project that I put together because I've turned it into a miniature ecosystem within my product discography, and there can be multiple ecosystems within the entirety of my product discography. So there are individual products like individual sound kits or individual beats, but then there are groupings of products within the discography which become an ecosystem in and of themselves. And not only is this super efficient, but it also really allows you to increase your ability to scale everything. And that's the power of the system, right? You're no longer relying on one thing. You're no longer relying on one product or one aspect of what you're offering. So you're not solely depending on streaming income. You're not solely depending on YouTube ad revenue. You're not solely depending on artists to buy your beats. You're not solely depending on one-off sound kit sales with nothing to market those sound kits. Now you have an ecosystem that feeds into itself and expands by surviving on itself, right? You make the beats, which makes the tape. You break the tape down into sound kits. All of that becomes content that helps you sell everything. You register everything, which helps you make money. You make more content about the process, which helps you sell more of everything. And it just continues to feed into itself, bro. Super amazing stuff. One single beat can make money from streaming. It can get a placement, whether it's syncs or with an artist. You can sell it as a lease, or it can get sold in the full premium bundle that you're offering in your store. You can get sales on the kit, and that diversification is how you build wealth as a producer, right? So the 5 revenue streams from one tape are the DSP royalties, the sync licensing fees that you get paid upfront and that you get on the back end, the premium bundle that you're offering, which can also be broken down into individual leases, and then your sound kit sales. There's at least five revenue streams that you can generate from just the one tape, and there's really more. We could really get into a deeper level of diversification in another video if you guys wanted to, but that's the power of thinking like this, right? And so your game plan moving forward, I want you to actually apply this shit, right? This is not a dopamine boost, right? We're going to actually apply this shit. So step 1, productize, build a theme beat tape, start making your beats with a theme in mind. All the better if you can actually make everything from scratch, which is why, going back to the last video, remember I said, it's a very valuable skill to be able to make good melodies on your own, bro. This is just one example of where that's very, very true, bro. Because if you can make everything from scratch, there's no need for producer agreements. You're not going to turn off specific agents or libraries because you can't make your own stuff from scratch. Because a lot of times they won't want to deal with that. I've been in instances where they really don't care. And there's a lot of instances where they won't. But there's a lot of instances, especially for producers, where they don't really want to deal with like more than 2 producers for sure. But ideally, if they could get it to be 1 producer, that's what they're going to want. So from there, you're going to want to protect and register everything so you get paid your publishing and royalties. Then you're going to want to pitch. Remember, B2B, you're a business. pitching a product to businesses that need your product. You're pitching music to businesses that want to use your music. Then compile the beat tape, which is already put together, and offer that as a premium package. You can sell it as individual leases, but you can also sell it as a premium bundle at a discount. Then multiply your efforts by breaking down the files of the project and putting those together in sound kits that you can give to producers. Then promote and scale everything by creating multi-purpose content, bro. And if you start to do this correctly, you're gonna be moving like a CEO that's building a product library instead of a beat maker that's trying to hustle beats to people, right? So your first assignment is to take 5 to 10 beats, put them together, and start working on your first project. And if you do want help with this or anything else related to growing and scaling as a producer, consider joining my mentorship group. You get a lot of stuff, the opportunity to collab with me for projects that I'll actually pitch to my agents. There's monthly beat releases, weekly beat releases, actually, monthly lessons, private chats via DM and social chats. You get access to the FLPs from my videos on my beat making channel and just a bunch of other really dope stuff. So do consider checking that out if you're interested. People have really good things to say about it. People get really good results from the entire process. So I just wanted to let you know about that if that's something that you're interested in. But all in all, if you got a lot of value from this, drop a like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd want me to cover next. And again, CEO mindset, bro. Get in the trap, get in the field, and start working. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.